But here we are now recording for the Unwritten Earths Symposium podcast. Blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Haven't done that
We haven't done that in a while.
I know. We trust our tools. Welcome, friends, to the Unwritten Earths Symposium podcast. This is the podcast where I sit down with my good friend, Epediah Ravachol. If there were more of him, he would be Epediah's Ravachol, as we've recently established. But there's just the one, the only, to talk about truly true role-playing games, making them, publishing them, getting them out into your hands is one of the things that I'm interested in talking about.
And this is where I sit down with my good friend, Nathan Paoletta. I was trying to figure out what plural... Ends PD? Ends PD? No, wait. Oh, sorry. Ends DP. Mm-hmm. Sorry.
Right.
And, well, anyways. Are we talking about truly true? This is... we should title this episode the sexy episode.
Okay.
This is the one where we're going to talk about platforms and web pages and
taxes,
and all that good stuff, all the taxes, all the stuff that all the wonder, joy, and adventure that fills your brain when you think of the hobby.
Ignore that.
Flush that out. We're not dealing with that. Today is not about that journey.
To make a tenuous connection to some previous episodes, we have talked about how designing, how your business model as a creator is a game design project, right?
Right. Yes.
And so in that framework, you could think about things like platforms and obligations that you have as a publisher and stuff like that as design constraints that surround your design project of your business.
Well done. So there's a new sheriff in town. No, that's the wrong way to put that.
There's a new game in town? That's the thing.
A new game in town? Yeah, maybe.
A new challenger has entered the arena.
There we go. Yes. In the where do you sell your game Royal Rumble? We have
and Royal it is.
Yes. Oh, now I'm blanking on the tabletop shelf. Is that what it is?
Are you hearkening back to the indie bookshelf that Vincent maintained?
No. Oh, maybe I am. Yeah. God,
We're old.
I don't understand time anymore. I exist outside of time, staring at all of the four dimensions.
This website is rpg-trader.com.
That's what it is.
Yeah, RPG Trader, which is an Australian outfit, and it is by a indie publisher, 10 Acre Games, which, to be perfectly frank, I actually was not familiar with before this website started coming across my transom. But they do what they call family-friendly tabletop games and resources for game creators. They have a lot of mouse ritter stuff, templates and stock art and stuff like that. Any award nominated. So there you go. Shows you how plugged in I am. Yeah. So I don't know the background. I don't know the crew that is doing this. I have no personal connection, but I do like the website.
Yeah.
Why are we talking about this? One of the things that we have long lamented, both in the 200 a day plus expenses episodes where we would talk about game stuff as opposed to what we were doing for the podcast, all the way to when we start talking about game stuff as the podcast, is the mismatch of delivery systems to the kinds of things we make and how we are trying to get them out into people's hands.
It's surprisingly hard to sell a PDF and a physical game at the same time. That's gotten easier, but for a decade, I mean, when we started, selling a PDF wasn't a thing, and then it became a thing, and then it was its own thing, and you couldn't combine the two. That was alchemy, and I don't know why, but we have a lot of platforms now, a plethora of them. At one point, I was it makes the most sense to put all my games on all the platforms. At which point, I learned that very important lesson of now you have to maintain multiple platforms. Every platform you put it on, you have to pay attention to.
That is now an additional there's a word for this. It's an additional burden of just like a thing you have to do, administrative burden, I guess, is you're not coming up with new interesting ways to talk about your game. You can come up with that once, and then you're like, oh right, I have to copy it across 6 different places, and that's a whole day of updating every place, and then with all of the changes of like 2 products or something like that.
And then there's a typo, and you have to go back across all the platforms and fix that. And that, again, like they all interact differently. It like you have to,
right? They have different interfaces.
Yeah, like it is a bigger burden than you expect. It's not insurmountable. There's many bigger burdens we have in this. But like, it's still like you're making work for yourself, and you'll start looking at like the amount you're selling on these different platforms.
Like, which ones are worth it?
Right. Yeah. And so it might be, I mean, like it might be smart to start on a bunch of them and then find the ones that work for you and then pare down to that. I'm not saying that that's good advice because, like I said before, I thought I was doing a smart thing and I realized I wasn't. Some of these platforms I've left because the owners turned out to be like Gumroad. I left Gumroad because that was garbage, and that was not easy to do. And I'm not even sure. I'm just going to check right now. I'm not sure I managed to flee Gumroad.
One may be able to Gumroad your stuff. Specifically, there was, it was long ago enough now I don't remember the exact details, but basically the person who created and owns and runs Gumroad, there was a controversy about their behavior. I don't remember the details, but it was like pretty significant in terms of like how they treated their employees and stuff, also kind of like some policy changes about certain kinds of creators on the platform, which is kind of a shame because they're one of the few that I think does have an integrated print and PDF option.
Like you could still find my stuff. I think I tried to take it down and it just didn't take, which is a incredibly frustrating.
Yeah.
Do not go and buy my stuff from Gumroad. I don't even know if they pay me if you buy stuff from Gumroad. Like, this may be illegal what they're doing, but like, I don't have resources to deal with any of that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, so there's a lot of strands here. Like, what are the options, right? Like, what is out there? And that's something I think RPG Trader is like is getting some traction, at least in my corner of the internet, because it seems to be targeting the overlapping issues that people have with being on the big 2 for us, being on drive-through RPG, and being on itch.io, right? Those are kind of the 2 big ones for most of the people probably listening and in our spheres. But there's a void of underserved things that happens when you're on those 2. And I think RPG Trader is aiming to fill that void because it has some features that are very like, oh, I would rather this than drive through. And there's some that are like, oh, I'd rather this than itch. And they're not necessarily a total overlap. But it seems to be coming from the community that is having the same issues that we have with where those 2 fall down as a combination. So there's that. There's like, the kind of strategic options for being for being in places where people can find your stuff. And then there's like building your catalog in a way that you can take advantage of what some of these platforms have to offer, because that's a slightly different thing that I think some people do embrace in terms of like using the tools afforded to you, specifically with like print on demand and stuff like that. So those are kind of the 2.5 things that come to mind immediately to be talking about. So where's a good place to start? Should we just start to talk about where we are right now in terms of platforms, and as opposed to where we're not?
Yeah, we can. I wanted to like point out that I wanted to also mention it's slightly orthogonal, but Indie Press Revolution, because we often think about like, oh, it's drive through and itch or whatever, but like Indie Press Revolution is there doing the games work, right? Like, if people want, like, if they want my games in retail, I'm like, talk to them. They'll put it in the store, and because they're serving a distributor role. They're kind of a hybrid, right? And it's kind of fun. At some point, I'm sure someone is doing this, but at some point it would be kind of fun to do a
history of IPR, because it started when we did, like, because Brennan Taylor, Galileo Games, started it, like as part of this community that we were all in, going to these East Coast conventions and stuff, and then it got handed. I don't remember if there were multiple stages in between, but Jason Walters, who also runs Hero Games, took it over and has run it, for a long time now, and is doing a fine job. But there's kind of a history there, which is funny because it's its own institution. But like, I also remember the early days when it's like, you bought something there and you had to like email someone a access URL to download it from like a back end somewhere. Like, anyway.
The early days.
But yeah, so platform stuff. We're talking about places for engaging with customers directly, right? Direct sales. But then IPR is a hybrid role where they are handling physical books. They are sending books to retailers, but they also are selling digital books. They're also selling the digital versions, and they're selling books directly to customers. So they are kind of a retailer distributor hybrid.
They often have convention presence, which is nice. It's a different model than Itch and
right, because those are just like platforms where you just put your stuff and you have to attract the customers. IPR has customers in terms of retailers and in terms of convention attendees. And they do sell direct, but not very, like, the proportions, at least for my stuff, and I think yours is like mostly retail, some convention, and like a couple copies that they sell direct every quarter. That's one step away from like traditional distribution, where it's straight up you send a bunch of books to a distributor and they sell to retailers, and that is the relation. They just disappear and you get a check every so often, hopefully.
Well, I meant the distributor disappears.
Oh, that too.
There's horror stories with distributors that
Well, that's the problem. I think the reason IPR is kind of singular is because the scale of our hobby is one that is a rounding error for most distributors. So you have to be like, you have to be doing enough business to make it worth their while. And that is only a very few companies in our space do. So IPR is kind of filling the void there. You can also work with retailers directly. Tabletop Bookshelf. Is that what we're thinking? Is that what you said already?
Now I can't remember.
Okay. So you said Tabletop Bookshelf. My mind went to the old digital version, but it's probably on mine because Tabletop Bookshelf is a store, is a retailer.
Right.
I know where you are, in Milwaukee, that was operating out of, Tom is the guy's name, was operating out of his basement for a while, and then recently went into got a full retail space, and is, does like a curated kind of approach to game stuff. But he's bought books from me. So I've had a relationship with them for a while. They stock World Wide Wrestling when it's in stock. So that's the modern Tabletop Bookshelf. So you can have a direct relationship with retailers as well, but that's kind of like ad hoc usually, in my experience. So where do we go from here?
Let's talk a little bit about internet presence for just a moment.
Sure.
Right? Like, fundamentally, what's happening is you've got a game. You've come up with an idea for a game. You've written it. You've gone through all the trouble of maybe even getting illustrations or illustrating it yourself and getting someone to edit it and all of that. Like, you have a final product, and I don't want to imply that your product must be that kind of final. It could just be like, I did a game zine or whatever. The problem is you're holding this game and you want someone else to hold it. And in best case scenario, that person trades you some sort of currency for that game. That's what you want. But you need to find that person. That's the thing, right? Like, you can't just hand that. You're not advertising the Chuckles Club in New York and you're just on the street handing these things out, right? Like, you've got to like find these people. And online, that has changed over the years how you do that. Like, it used to be like small communities in like forums and things like that, and it's become like a social media thing. But social media is not, it's ephemeral. You can draw an audience, but like, I would not use your Blue Sky account as your base of operations for your company.
Yeah.
You want to point people to a thing that's a little more stable than any of these. Like, stable is not the right word here. That's more under your own control than any of these, right? Like, you want a web presence, a website of some sort. What makes me think of this is that just recently, Linktree, I think is what it's called.
So yeah, I think that's like earlier this week.
Yeah, earlier this week. Linktree was a site that was like, I'm already talking about it as if it disappeared. Right. It hasn't. But like that wanted to solve this problem.
It's a bio site, right? It's like, here's your page with just a bunch of links to where all your stuff is.
Yeah, that's great. Super simple, nice, very easy, perfect. You made a great thing for the internet. Good. Of course, now you'll want to add AI, right? Like earlier this week, they updated their terms and services or something like that, saying that anything you post on there, they're going to use to feed their AI. Of course, a lot of artists use it because it makes sense.
It's free, and you can post. So it's like a page, and it's like, here's my Blue Sky, here's my Patreon, here's my web store, here's my link to the other places I sell things. Yeah.
The thing about like this sort of stuff is that you're linking people to these places, and these links survive for a while. Like they end up in blog posts or on social media posts or just in emails or anything like that. Like you're going to have people who like got an email from you, search their email a year later, find your website, and if it's like a Linktree and you've left it because Linktree said, I want to steal all your art, So I guess this big problem is you want a place that you have some control over that isn't just,
an alternate for Linktree is Card with 2 R's.
Oh, yeah.
Card.co. People use that as well. I don't have any particular. I can't say it's not doing some of the same things, but
I don't know.
As far as I know, I haven't seen the controversy on that one. So just if it's not hurting you, right? There's no reason not to use some of these tools, especially if you're trying to build from scratch. So there's an alternate. So
I'm hesitant to give any advice in this sort of matter, but let me just say that, like, I think probably a smart thing to do is to register a domain, not with if you're using why am I blanking? Squarespace or WordPress or one of these sites or whatever. I'm sure they'll register domains for you.
Yeah, but you can also do it.
But don't. Yeah. Do it on your own. Do it somewhere else. It's not hard to do, and then you get to point that wherever. I say it's not hard to do. It's a little opaque. You can just move the URL.
And that's kind of a long-standing advice, right? That we both have given over time is like, have a thing that's yours. I mean, yes, it's turtles all the way down. Like, yes, you have to. You're relying on a domain name registrar.
Yeah. Every one of these companies will betray you at some point.
Right. Like there's no, you're not sitting in a server closet, yourself, but like, having your own domain name that at least you can point to other places, etc. Having a mailing list that you control that isn't mediated through another service, all that stuff is like long-term beneficial. Okay, so you want to have stuff you control, and you want to talk to an audience. How do you find those people, right?
Right, yes.
One reason these platforms exist is from the player end, right? From the perspective of, I'm a person who likes games. They're a place to go to find games, right? That's what stores are for. That's why stores exist, right? So you don't have to go to everyone's farm to buy like wheat on that farm and milk at the other farm. You can go to the store and buy them at the same time. This is the society we live in. And
not only like are these people frequently these places like stores, but they're also quite often like IPR, or not IPR. Oh man, I'm going to mess up all the names today. Drive-through and Itch both like maintain your library of games that you've purchased on them, right? Like, so I know a lot of people they're like, oh yeah, I have that game. I don't have the electrons stored anywhere on any device I have. I'll just grab it from my library.
They use it as a virtual library, virtual in the sense of like in the cloud, like the remote. Yeah.
So that's an audience that just keeps coming back, is what I'm saying. Like they're tied to it in a way that like you may not be tied to the 7-Eleven unless it's the one right next to your house.
I sell stuff directly from my website. I use Squarespace. I use their commerce tools. I don't love, like they've gotten very in on AI stuff. I don't love that. Obviously, but there's a certain point where it's like disentangling my entire business side from that service is like a project that I need to like really consider. So it will become necessary at some point, but these things take time.
Yeah, this is sort of what we were getting into earlier.
It's a lot easier to be like, okay, I have my stuff listed in 4 places, and Gumroad no longer has values that I can support, so I can just stop selling on. I mean, theoretically, apparently not, but like, theoretically, I can just be like, okay, I just don't have I'll close my Gumroad account. I guess it's kind of a shame if people like plan to go there to download my stuff in the future, but sometimes that's the cost. And like maybe someone will email you and be like, hey, I bought your thing on this platform, and you're like, oh, I'm sorry, I don't use that platform anymore. Here's an alternate way to get it. Right? That's kind of
exactly
a deal you can make with your future self to provide that support. But people are only coming to my website if they either already know about my games or are searching for specific things. Like in my case, if someone's looking up a wrestling game, they will probably find my site, which is great. It's nice to be in a niche, but many other people who have encountered my games have done so on DriveThruRPG and on itch.io. Because those are places where people go, oh, I'm interested in that game. Let me go to the place where I get games. And that sometimes is one and sometimes the other. And both of them are also providing tools to contact customers over time and like be like, oh, I have a sale or I have a new product, more or less robust depending on what you're doing. Itch is interesting because it is all the tabletop stuff. We are kind of hoarding in on a site that is not for us. So the tools don't necessarily map very well.
Riding some coattails there.
Right. DriveThru, on the other hand, is invested in being the place to get your digital games and your games with their print-on-demand service. So if you have everything streamlined with them, it's nice. But if you want to have other options for people to get your stuff, you start to run into some rough edges with their services as well.
Yeah.
So again, that's the trade-off. Do you want to be all in on something and use all of its tools and affordances, or do you want to have a wider array of options for people to find you, and also more options if one of those services ends up going in a direction that you can't be party to, even if they don't go belly up, right? That's the other thing. Or do they just go away? And also for Unwritten Earths, we use PayHip, which is more of a broad, just like you're selling something on the internet kind of platform. So it does not have a dedicated audience in the same way that a DriveThru does or an itch does.
Right.
People aren't necessarily going to payhip.com to look for tabletop games. But what they do is have a really easy and low cost. Like, I mean, it's free. You can pay for some features, but like, I don't think I've ever paid for PayHip for anything. Like,
they take a percentage.
Well, they don't even take a percentage until you sell a certain amount. They do collect. One reason to use them is they do collect taxes, like VAT taxes on sales outside the US. And so like you pay those, right? But you would have to do that anyway. They're just handling it for you. Anyway, and they have like a pretty nice interface. You can set up a storefront with them and direct people to your, payhip.com/unwritten earths. You can go there and get all of our PDFs, that kind of stuff. But it does not have that marketplace aspect of an audience that is going there. They're really an option for like, oh, I don't have a website where I can sell stuff because I don't want to pay for that plan and I don't have that technical know-how to get that set up. But you can put a bunch of links or embeds on your site to an itch page and to a PayHip page and have that be your like direct sales channel.
Have like a storefront. Yeah.
I don't know how much of this is like already known by you folks listening.
Yeah, I mean, like it's good to cover our bases, and almost everything we say will be different if you're listening to this 2 years from now.
Right.
Well, no, I shouldn't say that. Some of these companies we're talking about have been going strong for quite a few years now. So that's not necessarily the case. Yeah. Like, it's been a decade since the first Swords was first published, and that was published on DriveThru and PayHip, and later once Itch came around. Like, I think Swords is older than Itch, but
I think so. Well, at least for us, like
for us, older than what, but like, and it hasn't changed. Those haven't changed significantly for me to care about one way or the other.
So we're, this new site RPG Trader slots in, I think, is interesting. So one thing that DriveThru really invested in was adding their print-on-demand service, right? Where you can set up your titles to be a digital download and be a print-on-demand book that gets printed through Lightning Source, which is a big mass market printer. Like if you get something printed through Amazon's print-on-demand service, that's also, it's Ingram Spark is the company, Lightning Source is the product. I don't know. I'm not really sure. A bunch of companies all got consolidated in the last, sometime 5 or 6 years ago, and now it's all like one big company. But anyway, so they have tools for like, I can buy a book, it is print on demand, it gets printed when I order it, comes to me, the cost is taken out of the publisher's cut. And then the other thing that DriveThru provides is like a fulfillment service for sending like crowdfunder backers, like doing a mass fulfillment for like digital files, but also doing send a print on demand book to all of these people. And you can upload a spreadsheet and have that all handled without having to, pack books in your garage or whatever. This has all the drawbacks of print on demand, where it's like there's limited formats, the quality can be variable, that kind of stuff. But they have invested a lot in making it very straightforward for people to do that. Itch, on the other hand, doesn't care about physical products. So people who try to sell, and you've done this, try to sell a physical book through the Itch page. It's a bit of a dive. Like you have to. I'm trying to remember how I did it. I think it was like an additional reward. Yeah, it's like a special
if you pay
reward.
Extra money, like you get this or whatever, and then I have to like dig into. It is not good, and I'm not guaranteed to get people's shipping address, which is a whole other problem. It's not a thing I will do again. I'm not saying that it shouldn't be done. I'm just saying that it's not well set up, and
it's a hack.
Reaches my threshold of not going to do it.
Itch is I find it a lot cleaner and a lot easier to maintain my pages, to make updates to things, and to actually like download other people's stuff, but also like send discount codes or free copies and pull my data out of it and do sales reports, like all that stuff I find much easier and more convenient on Itch. It's also a pay what you want percentage that defaults to 10%, and you can set that slider all the way to 0 if you want. I think I've just left it at 10.
Yeah, I've left it at 10.
I'm like, this seems fair. And DriveThru, on the other hand, is either 30% if you're exclusive, and I don't recommend that unless you are literally like, no, this will be my whole business, or it's a 35% cut if you are non-exclusive, which most of us are.
Yeah, there's definitely, I can see the appeal of a business that is like, we use DriveThru's print on demand. We just do it exclusively, everything on DriveThru. For me, I guess in my head, that model is probably building modules for games that already exist.
Well, because they have their whole like third-party system storefronts where it's like if you're doing Storyteller's Vault titles, or you're doing DM's Guild. I think that's even a higher percentage for those because of because you're like quote paying for the license. But that stuff is all going to stay on that site. You're not going to take your DM's Guild stuff and put it on Itch, or I mean maybe someone does, but that seems unlikely to me.
So like I'm just saying it's a viable model. It's just not one that appeals to either one of us,
right? Because then you're bound up in one platform again. If DriveThru is like, oh, we actually are going to start training an AI on everyone's products, all of a sudden, what are you supposed to do if they're your only?
I will just very quickly say they have not indicated that they will do anything.
No.
Like that is a nightmare scenario that we don't think is likely, but like it still exists
not
for
to
any
imply.
company. Yeah, not to imply. So anyways, like these different places have different deals and different tools that they can offer you, and so you want to like spend a little time familiarizing yourself with it, but also it's very difficult because putting myself in the shoes of a young epi who's not done any of this yet, right? I want to make the right choice,
right?
But
how do I know?
I don't know. I don't have the experience to make the right choice. So then what happens next? Well, I'd like some sane defaults. I don't even like the term sane defaults. I borrowed that from like a computer programming. They use that term a lot. I think it's, anyways, I'd like some defaults that I can trust.
Right.
And it's like, well, nobody wants to even offer those, right? Like, I don't want to say, do this and you'll be fine, right? Like, because it really does depend on what it is you want to do here. The game you're designing for your game publishing.
Right. Yeah, like if you're like, I'm going to do digital first, I'm not going to worry about making books, then the whole print on demand stuff doesn't matter to you. So maybe you look at things more like the percentage split that you're getting, or the tools available to you for distribution, or to contact people who've bought your games. And again, you can be on both, and then you get into and now I'm maintaining listings on both. And so that is a commitment you need to make to yourself to do that.
Any of these you can experiment with. Like you can see how they work, whatever. I would say probably the number one thing you want to do is less concerned about like what the back end looks like. I mean, obviously don't offer a cut of your product that will make it so you lose money every time you sell your product, or like anything like that. But like what you really want to do is you want to say, my game belongs to this constellation of games.
Yep.
My game fits with this community or whatever. You just find where that is. Like I say look for the constellation of games that you think your game fits with, right? Like you're designing games because you enjoy them. Where did you get the games that you enjoy?
Sure.
Maybe that's where you want to go. Like basically you're more likely to find your audience. Look for your audience. Your audience is people who like games like your game.
There's a big overlap with your audience and your like peer community, right? Like if you're all fans of each other's games, that's where, we start sending around the same $5. Like, yes, but also those constellations are where
hardest working $5 in the business.
Right. But those networks of like peers who are kind of in doing the same thing and interested in each other's games starts to attract that larger audience of people who are also interested in that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So where RPG Trader kind of fits in here, and why I've been pretty high on it in advance of the launch. So we are recording pre-launch of the site to actually buy stuff. It's in a public beta while people sign up and get listings up, and you can start doing some of the stuff like you can
digging through it right now,
like thumbs ups on people's products and stuff, but there's no check. You can't check out. There's no that part is going to roll out soon. It will have launched by the time this episode drops, now that I'm looking at my calendar. It seems to be trying to, like I said earlier, trying to fill some voids left from both the big two, from Drive-Thru and Itch. So it's providing the kind of digital stuff that you'd expect. You make a listing, you upload files. It has a nice fine-grained options for what files are downloaded at what price points. So you can offer like a free version that's a free download, and then the full version is the price, and you can do pay what you want and minimum, so people can leave tips, like all that stuff, which is like Itch does that stuff really well. So I think a lot of that logic is in here. It also does print on demand. It's integrated with Lulu, which is the other long running print on demand company that has been around for, I mean, again, since it was a hot new technology when we were starting, like Clinton Nixon, author of Shadow of Yesterday and administrator at the Forge, etc. He worked for Lulu for a while, so he was like really pushing it for us. Like,
hey, we should use this. Yeah.
And over time, I think they've gotten pretty entrenched as like one of the non-Amazon related print on demand companies. They have a global system, so like so does the Drive-Thru one, the one that Drive-Thru uses. But like if you live in the UK and you order something from Lulu, it's getting printed in the UK. It's not getting printed in the US and sent over. And same with other regions of the world. So I have not gone into that workflow. I don't have anything I want to set up as print on demand right now, but they say that they've integrated with the Lulu API, so it's supposed to be pretty like straightforward. You do it all from your page, etc. So that's exciting.
That's nice. Yeah.
They have a 20% cut, so they're kind of like in the middle there.
Nice. I don't balk at that. Yeah.
Especially for like a new platform. Like I want to make sure you can sustain yourself.
Yeah.
It's better than Drive-Thru, so like sure, sounds good to me. What else? None of this sounds exciting. I guess I'm trying to get at like what is it doing different?
Well, I mean, it's new. Here's the thing, like we kind of been sort of skating around this, but like each of these develop communities around them. Communities of designers, communities of players, and all sorts. Like I don't want to like even characterize any of them, but like they're distinct. You can feel it. You know it. Like you're like, oh, that feels like a itch game, or that feels like a drive-through product or whatever. And because it's new, it's exciting because you get to be part of whatever community that becomes. You get to get in like early on a community, which is nice.
If things go well, then
yes.
it is usually like pretty good to have been in at the ground floor, right?
Yeah.
You end up having some advantages in terms of like having a longer time for people to leave reviews, having more of a back catalog that people can see, that kind of stuff. And that's just kind of
it's just like
nice.
Any neighborhood, right? Like the longer you've been in a neighborhood, the more friends there you make with the more enemies, obviously. But like, the new person, everyone might be excited and welcoming or whatever, but you still have like all the old jokes that they haven't heard, right? Like it's just the way of things. So like whenever I see like a new platform like this, I do have this thing of like, do I want to be part of that? Like, if the
vibes are good, then it's kind of like, let's give it a shot. And so some of the stuff that I've been, that I've been like, oh, this seems really nice as I've been adding some products, you know where it's coming from because it has import tools to import your listings from drive-through and from itch,
right?
As well as upload just a spreadsheet, which is probably great for someone with more structured cataloging in their system.
I will say it doesn't matter how much structured, like being able to write something out in a spreadsheet and then load it up rather than fill in forms. The internet, miracle of modern technology. Like we wouldn't be here without you. Love you, but man, your primary. Your fundamental technologies are so bad. They're just so bad, and forms are one of them. Like they're just like, tell me what all the questions are. I'll fill them in and edit them, and then I'll just upload them, and then we're good. Like that's what I want. I don't want to have to like click in this form and write something and then go back and then wait, I should have copied and edited this and this. Anyways, that's a whole nother rant.
So if you wanted to, you could check out their documentation for the spreadsheet import and see if that's something you want to do.
Yeah. I'm excited now. Now you've got me excited.
But so like it has an easy import. So, because that's the other thing, the setup cost, the switching cost, right? I have 15 listings. Now I have to set up every single one. Doing the import saves me significant time because it brings in basically just like all the titles and the art and like some of the basic info. I still have to fill out a lot of it. I copy and paste the product descriptions, that kind of stuff. But it felt like it was saving me time. So, I'll take it. And then it has a really, what seemingly from my end, robust tagging system where it has a bunch of different ways to organize searches. For example, so when you set something up, it has two things you have to put in. It's category. Is it a game? Is it a supplement? Like that kind of thing. And then language, so that, you can filter for language. And then it has a bunch of optional things of the genre, the game system, the setting, the play style, the audience and content, the tone, the play requirements, like this needs a camera or this needs polyhedral dice.
These are optional now, right? Like the two that you cared about were the categories and the language, and everything beyond that is okay, good.
Yeah, it's all optional, but it's kind of been nice for me to like scroll through and be like, oh, I can tag it with it. Like, I have a fun joke. I think everyone will love this joke, which is all of my wrestling stuff is getting the royal genre because professional wrestling is the king of sports. So I really hope everyone appreciates that really good joke. And then it has freeform tags. You can just tag it with whatever.
That's good. Yeah.
So that's been interesting as a creator going through and being like, oh, I can add the tone. That's actually really an interesting set of decisions about like, oh, what is the tone of this? Or when people search for a tone, with which tones do I want them to find this game? Right. Is kind of the question. It's not necessarily how accurate is it, but it's like when people search for holiday, I do want them to find New Year's Spray. So
right.
That's pretty straightforward. But I think I also tagged that one with like, that's this is overlap, right? Is that genre? Was that the genre? Or I think it was the genre tag, but whatever. But also there's one that's like dreamlike, and I'm like, oh yeah, dreamlike is also a good one for New Year's Spray because it's
that's like
good. abstracted kind of idea that you're playing through. So that's been actively interesting to have all of those fields and be like, oh, what do I want to tag this as?
Little frustrating that the tones include neither glum nor jovial. I'm just saying.
You can submit requests.
Yeah, hey,
for...
do you mind just marketing simply to my game?
That'd be very,
Thank you.
very funny. One area that I think is also specifically like trying to solve a hole that itch has is the itch shared bundle, right? Where there's especially charity bundles, but these other multi-publisher bundles where you have a bunch of publishers who all put their products together for one price and then distribute the money, equally or whatever. On itch, one long-standing problem has been that you can create a bundle with multiple publishers, but you can't create just a title. So, like, if me and you collaborate on, well, we do collaborate, but like for the sake of argument, if everything in Unwritten Earths was like a collab where we each got 50%, we couldn't just set them up like that on itch. They would have to be in a bundle where I've provided half of them and you've provided half of them. And then it's like, all right, so who creates the listing and who owns it, quote unquote, for like taking care of the back end and stuff like that. So RPG Trader has a I think it's built in. I haven't done it because I don't have anything I need to do this with yet, but you can add contributors that get a split of the sales, and then it just goes to them directly. I think Drive-Thru has this feature.
Drive-Thru does that as well. Yeah.
So so there's one thing where it's like it's on one platform and not on the other, and here you can do it. Sorry, there's contributors, which is like just adding like other people who've worked on it, right? Like artists or co-designers or whatever. And then there's collaborators where they're a creator on the platform that you're splitting revenue with. And so those are two different things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
stress test time.
Yeah.
Do you think we could do Epimus through it?
Oh.
I mean, the answer is no, because there's no platform we could do Epimus through. But
I don't know. Okay, so set me through the requirements to do Epimus, and I'll try and see if I can logic it out from what I know so far.
Yeah, let's go to first principles here. For those who are listening to this and don't know what we're talking about, congratulations, you live in a full and wonderful life. This is a promotion that Nathan and I have run around Christmas time.
That you have run. I've participated in.
Yeah, you've participated. We invented it together, though, I think.
We?
I remember us walking in New York. Let me take you back.
Yeah.
A little journey. PDFs were kind of a new thing. And we had finally convinced people to buy them. So that was great. I had no part in that. I just waited until that was a thing that started happening. And then I think my part in that was I said, I would never buy a PDF. Are you kidding me? Mm-hmm. And then I've changed.
Right.
And so did the market. And at some point, you and I were walking along and I was like, I would love for people think about giving PDFs as gifts in the holidays. Like not... The main thing is that there's a bunch of people in your life where you're like, yeah, like a $5 PDF would be a great gift for them. You don't see a holiday boom in the PDF selling business like you might in like if you were selling toys or books or anything else that's physical. So that's where Epimus came about. The way it typically worked was we gather a bunch of game designers / publishers. They all contribute games. We make bundles out of them. We sell these bundles at kind of a steep discount. It was a shockingly good thing. People would buy the bundle. They would get it themselves. And on Epimus, which is December 24th, it would be delivered via email, usually, to whoever they're buying it as a gift for. Right. We did bundles because I think originally because we just it's hard to know what games people had. So if you gave them a bunch of games, it's likely that there's stuff in there that they didn't have, that kind of thing. And then the other important business, which is for the back end here, is that all of us across the entire, I think only once we didn't do this, all of us across the entire promotion get an equal split of all the sales. The idea is that you're not worried about your game selling well. The 1 year I tried it on itch, I couldn't get itch to do that. And so you got a split of the bundle that you were in and not the whole thing, which really felt I didn't like that. That felt really bad because there's certain bundles that are going to outsell others. That's just the nature of the business. Then I'm in the unenviable position of like deciding who goes in what bundle and trying to guess like how to put together a bundle that sells equally as well as another bundle. And like, I know which games are hot right now. I know which bundles, like who do I put in that bundle? Suddenly I'm a bad guy. That's my internal monologue. No one's ever called me a bad guy for it. You're welcome to. It's legit, but like it just hasn't happened.
So bundles of products where the split is even across the entire thing, even if different bundles sell at different rates.
Yeah.
Right.
That's tough.
And then the other thing is the person who buys it gets it, and then it also goes to a gift recipient.
Yeah. At a certain set
time. Yeah.
Over the years, we've accomplished this by me waking up on Epimus and going through spreadsheets and handwriting emails.
Right.
And which is why we don't do Epimus anymore, because at some point I was like, I'm doing a whole lot of work for just a tiny little cut of this.
Yeah. Okay. So I think that's the key thing that is still an outstanding thing. I mean, it may be worth making a feature request of like gifting credits, right? Because I feel like that does have application outside of just Epimus, where it's like, can I buy a game for another person and like put in their I mean, I don't know if there's like, this is a bigger discussion. Is that like a security issue of just like you can put someone's email in and send them something?
I think we got away with it early on.
Is that a harassment vector?
Well, I mean, it's definitely a vector. Like if you got an email that says Happy Epimus last year, say, and here's your bundle, don't click on that link. Like I didn't send that. I didn't run Epimus last year. So there's that problem, right? Like it is a vector for like hacking if somebody just pretends to be me and then just sends emails out to people and say, hey, you got a game. That's
a larger issue of like, is this a feature that can be implemented in an opt-in manner? A gift is waiting for you. It's from this person. Go to this URL to accept it or something like that. I don't know.
But even then, like you don't want URLs.
That feels sketchier. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
So that's the hard problem right now, I think.
I mean, I brought it up as a joke, but yes.
If the platform has a feature of gifting, I feel like there's probably some way it needs to be.
I think Itch can kind of do that. Let me check. I think you can give them like a code.
Yeah, you can send a code. You can send anyone a code to download stuff for free. So like, I guess there's that. Yeah. Just kind of maybe automating that into a thing. Anyway, we're going a little afield. The tools here, I think the bundle tools, it's certainly possible. It does because it allows you to create a bundle and either do fixed percentages or so you can evenly distribute the percentages, or you can do fixed percentages. So I guess if you know, like, if at some point you're like, okay, we have 4 bundles and there's 27 people involved, and the total those 4 bundles cost this much money, and there's this many people involved, you could do the math to do fixed percentages in the bundles, which might be weighted a little differently than they would be if they were just a straight split of just the people in the bundle. So that's a little bit of upfront work. You couldn't have arbitrary bundles. You'd have to like have them be defined. But that seems like one way to deal with that problem. You actually could handle that on the front end.
Well, that's good too, because that was a thing that I would bring in all the money and then I have to send it all out to people before New Year's Day. Yeah. Like I'm just like, get it out of here. I don't want this.
Anyway, so maybe there's always room to grow. At some point, we've talked about like what would the Epimus website need to be to like just do the thing. Anyway, that's a separate conversation.
Yeah. That's a totally, we can save that for plus expenses again at some point.
At some point. Yeah, so some other things just in terms of getting my stuff listed, like it doesn't have specific requirements for images. It's just like any aspect ratio is fine. We'll just display what you give us, and it's like an 8 megabyte limit or something, which is like higher than most. Itch is a 3, and that's just like that's right where just saving stuff out and be like, here it is. That'll be a cutoff, and I'll have to make a smaller version. Drive-through has a specific pixel size that the thumbnails need to be. So like just being like, oh yeah, I can just put my general, I just have my folder of like product images.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I can just use these the same way I just do on my website, and none of them are, I mean, maybe if they were really, really big, maybe I'm irresponsible in having multiple like 4 or 5 megabyte images, but it's been nice just being like, here's the picture, and not having to do any reformatting, change aspect ratio, any of that stuff. And yeah, it does not have customization in terms of like the page. So like Itch is a highly customizable page where you can make your page look like whatever. Drive-through, on the other hand, is not. It just has, this is the site, and here's the products, and here's how everything looks.
Here's your logo.
Yeah. So RPG Trader is more like that. Here's the site. Here's how everything looks. It has a pretty modern, like...
It's a nice looking site.
Like it looks,
so
it looks pretty nice.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily the look that I would choose for myself, but like,
right,
it's fine. It's not unpleasant or weird. It's just like, style.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, maybe if I could choose a different font for my like cards.
Right. Yeah.
So it does it uses like a pretty modern, to my eyes, system of like social media cards for when you share links, so that it like has a nice little formatted, image. And I'm like, if I could change like the font in that, I wouldn't be sad, but that's a quibble. Yeah, I don't know if it has embeds. Itch has embeds where you can take the product listing and put a code snippet on your site, and it sucks in the Itch listing. And I don't think this has embeds. But it does have a really straightforward links out to other products or to other sites. So, so like on all my listings, I just have a like buy in print, and it's just the thumbnail of like the print picture of the book and a link to where you can buy it on my website. And in the listing, it's like, here's all the stuff to down, like here's all the RPG Trader links to download the file, to buy the files. And then there's like a space, and then there's just a bar that's like buy in print. And like, it just looks integrated. Like it doesn't look like it's trying to send you to a weird place. Drive-through doesn't let you link off-site, right? Itch links off-site are kind of like just a link, like a text link. So that feature makes it look like it's all composed and all part of the same product, which I like. I'm pre-waxing about a thing that hasn't launched yet. So grain of salt. Hopefully it doesn't crash. Hopefully it's not weird. It uses the same payment processors as everyone else, so you're not changing those if you have issues with your products. If you have not safe for work content that Itch delists or shadow bans or whatever because Stripe doesn't want to handle payment process. Like there's these controversies that have been happening and are significant. This is a significant issue, but they use PayPal and Stripe the same as every other site these days. So like, you're not getting around anything by doing that. Unfortunately, my Stripe setup wouldn't work because it kept on telling me I had to be in Australia. So I think that's a bug. But my PayPal setup was fine. So, some work to do there to get that fixed. I don't know. I'm just kind of talking about a thing that looks promising because it feels a little like you were saying about communities, finding, that constellation of people. Unlike Drive-Through, which was consolidated from earlier sites, there was one bookshelf, and then there's Drive-Through and RPG Now. These were all different portals to the same stuff that eventually got consolidated. And it's really coming from this larger perspective of like the whole hobby, right?
Somewhere I have a CD-ROM of like the Drive-Through website as it existed pre-Gen Con mid-aughts, I think, or some late-aughts or something like that. Like it was something they gave away at Gen Con, or I got it. And I remember recently putting it in my computer and going, "This is a blast!" It's just the website as it worked there with all the like listings for the products. I don't think you can buy anything anymore because I think it,
I'm sure that plumbing is all gone, but
like kids these days, I don't think you understand. There was like this time where we thought maybe on a CD, like, because we could burn to CD-ROMs, maybe we could, like, that's a way to get people to click on things on the internet. Like, you give them a CD, then they click on it, and that takes them to something on the internet or whatever. That was a very short-lived, I mean, I guess now QR codes are kind of a similar idea, but also, yeah. Anyways,
Anyway, I was just saying, yeah, so that's like a big expansive version of like the entire hobby. And then Itch, as we've been saying, is for digital games, for indie games that are computer RPGs, as opposed to truly true RPGs that we've hacked to do for tabletop. And then this
but
site,
it does have some like thriving tabletop community.
Yeah.
So let's not be. Yeah.
I'm not being dismissed. I'm just like, the reality is,
that's what it was built
we're
for.
a vestigial chunk of this much larger endeavor, and it happens to work for a lot of what we're doing. And then this RPG Trader really feels like similar to IPR, feels like a little bit of a by us for us kind of endeavor. Like, if you look at the publishers that are on there, it's a lot of people I recognize, a lot of people doing interesting things, but across a spectrum of mouse ritter supplements and mothership modules and stuff, to my stuff, to people doing other bespoke titles that are all different in their catalog, and like that's the and that's the lane that feels comfortable for me. And I'm like, okay, so this feels like it's for me. So I think that's why I'm excited about it.
This is the hole I plug into here. This is the whatever that horror comic is. Sam will know. Sam will tell us.
Right. Oh, this is my hole.
Yeah. This is my hole. This was made for me.
Yep.
None of that comes through on a podcast, so maybe we can just cut all of our talking about how this is the hole I'm plugging into. Then
just
get rid of it.
You know what we're talking about, and if you don't look it up. I guess you might get something wrong. So I've been talking for a while. I don't know what else should we mention.
Right.
In our sexy episode talking about
episode here,
maintaining products across different platforms.
I think we kind of nailed any wisdom that we might have on this topic. Like, here's the thing: you have to find where you're comfortable, right? Like, I enjoyed learning how to code and then eventually making my own website and like building little things for that. But I've yet to build a store for my website. I don't like, that's not a thing that you just kind of unless you already have the skills, set around to do on your own. Just like, hey, it'll take a while, but like there's like we said, you get yourself a URL that you can point, a domain that you can point wherever you want, and then set up somewhere, point that domain at it, and then wherever you set up, when it eventually does upset you, you can move it to somewhere else. And just like look for places that have games that are similar to the ones you want. And it's fine to go to places where that isn't the case. If you're like, I really need this set of features. I need, I don't like how print on demand is done here. I prefer how it's done here. That's fine. Earlier I brought up, like, how do you reach your audience? There's no like real good answer for that. But one of the things you could do is just find one of these places and set up shop and just get involved. Like,
and like this one does have some like interactive. It's cyber
community stuff.
It has some community stuff. It has. So this was an interesting thing. So first of all, we should have put this way up front. No AI. I think what brought it to my attention was that it was rolling out and people were asking about it, and they had the original AI policy was similar to the drive-through one, where it's like toggle to indicate whether you've used generative AI, and you can filter to filter those out, like that thing. And people who are interested in the site were pushing back and like, hey, this is kind of milquetoast, kind of get how it's a middle ground kind of thing. But if that toggle exists, people will decide not to use it to sneak their AI stuff in, right?
Yeah.
Because they know people don't want it. So
right. Yes, exactly. Yeah.
And there was a conversation about it, and they ended up changing their terms to be like, generative AI is not allowed on the platform. There is still a toggle. So it's like, if you're honest, you don't read the terms of service, you set up your thing and you're like, oh yeah, it has generative AI. Then it says, okay, we're flagging this for review. You can't publish it yet. Yes. So like, I kind of like that. I'm like, okay, yeah, leave that there. Let people, call themselves out. That's great. And that's the policy. So that's great. It's, as far as I know, the only one that has the only, I think IPR, might have a no AI policy. But Drive-Thru and Itch certainly have the like opt-in to be filtered kind of thing. Similar to Kickstarter. It's like, Anyway, so that's great. But it also has it started off with like a 5-star rating system, and it actually changed that during the beta to a thumbs up system.
I saw that.
And it's like,
yeah,
great.
That's good.
That's so much better.
Yeah. Just if you like it, say you like it. That's it. That's all we care.
That's all we care. And like people have been liking stuff, like likes have showed up on my products because it's open, you know, all these features are already active. So that's very nice. And there is like a feed. There's like a, like they have a feed of newly posted products and stuff like that. And then individual listings have tabs for reviews and discussions, which aren't active yet. The discussion thing works now. For a while it wasn't active. Itch hides those. Drive-through uses them pretty extensively. So this is kind of like, it looks like it'll be pretty obvious. Like, oh, I want to see the reviews. Here's the tab for reviews. And then it has a little toggle of a counter of people how many likes it has, right? Has a wish list feature. The little thumbs up says recommend. So it's like 5. So right now, World Wide Wrestling says 5 people recommend this product. It's like,
that's great.
Great. No stars. Just, you know, love to see it. Thank you, 5 people.
I mean, I'm sure this came up, but like it is kind of wild how bad a star system. Star system. That's fun. I feel like I'm blasting.
Not
like
a 5.
A rating system that isn't just yay. How bad that is.
I think even YouTube took away the thumbs because there's like thumbs ups and thumbs downs for a while, and then I think they eventually took out the thumbs downs because it's like, what's the point?
Yeah, but also like when you put out like a 5-star system or whatever, you'll never get everyone to agree what all the stars mean to begin with. And that's fine. Like we're just averaging it or whatever. But that also always ends up being 5 means it's good. 4 means no one likes it.
Right. Yeah. 5 means it's good. Less than 5 means it's bad. 1 means someone is aggrieved. Like,
yeah. Like exactly. It like when people hand out surveys like at a grocery store or something like that for you, like how was their service? Nowadays they tell you like they're like, if we don't get 5 stars,
right,
something's wrong, and you know like so something why why are you using a 5-star system? It's not 5 stars. It's like, anyways, that's a whole nother rant. Don't need to go on it. 5-star systems are bad. I'm just gonna say it.
So here we have a thumbs up system, which I appreciate.
Poor game design. I'm going to be very, very specific about my critique of it.
Sure.
A 5-star system is poor game design.
Yeah. And so you kind of get to, there is a sense here that's like, oh, what is the design here? Like there's a game designer is making this. So we do get to see those benefits, I guess is what I'm saying. I mean, that's true. Like Itch is the person who made and run Itch, I think is also a game designer, but is a
right. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. I'm just glad there's a new option that feels like it might be a good fit. So this wasn't necessarily the episode to tell you to go to this website. But
it is.
But I guess it is. And if it sucks, we'll learn, and we'll learn that together. But I just like having another option and seeing people be excited about another option that seems to not be run by a tech oligarch and not be a legacy system from a different social situation is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I think that handles it in some form or another.
Yeah. By far one of our sexiest episodes.
I think so. It helped that we're both sitting here wearing the He-Man the He-Man X battle armor,
which we always wear when we record.
Yeah, that's how we record.
Neither of us are wearing pants, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I can only assume. Well, when this episode drops, it will also be shortly before Origins, and we will.
Oh yes,
we are going to Origins Game Fair in Columbus. So both of us are running some games on demand, and other than that, just kind of hanging out. So come say hi.
Yeah, come say hi. We're not at a booth or anything like that. So good luck finding us.
Yeah, look for the He-Man X battle armor and no pants. That's how you'll find us.
That person is absolutely going to be at Origins, and we're just having a bunch of random people come up to him.
And then I think we'll have a week off because well, we'll see. We'll see what our recording schedule is like. But if there's a gap, it's because of Origins, and then we'll have an after action report probably. We are also closing in on production stuff for Swords. Proofs are starting to happen. Writing is almost done. Art is very close to complete. We have a cover, so things to look forward to. In case something sounds weird, we've been having a lot of connection issues today, so let's bring this one home. The Unwritten Earth Symposium podcast is by Us Go Us. Our music is by Will Yobst. Thank you, Will. You can find all of our stuff, including all the platforms that we have our products on, at unwrittenearth.com, because we have a website. And maybe in Plus Expenses, we'll talk about Unwritten Earths and what we want to do vis-a-vis this new platform. It might be fun.
Oh, yeah.
And so that brings us to our standard sexy ending question. Epi, have we made a game yet?
No, but we know where we're going to sell it when we do.